Testing.
Are we live?
All right.
Hi, this is Chris Talbot, and welcome. We're here at HIMSS 2018, and we actually have one of our first guests to the booth today. We have Joseph Wolfgram, who's the Chief Technology Officer at Mission Health, Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome, Joseph.
Thank you for having me here.
It's our pleasure.
Spectacular booth, by the way. Looks very nice.
Thank you very much. Now, is this your first time at HIMSS?
No, actually, it's probably my fourth trip to HIMSS. I don't make it every year, but I try.
Wonderful. Now, earlier today, Joseph actually gave a fantastic presentation on a 60-day challenge to communication clinical success. Now, I'm not going to actually go through the whole presentation.
Are you sure? Because I got it memorized.
I bet he could. But actually, at this point, no, we'll come back later and do it.
Fine.
But give us a couple highlights.
Sure, yeah. Well, the presentation really, it talks about the amazing Ascom Myco 2 device that we have deployed. We love that device. I don't think there's anything else like it on the market, and that's why we chose it. But the presentation went into more of the, the things you have to do around the technology to make the deployment successful. And your team was so critical to bringing that process to my team as well. We did pre-surveys and post-surveys so that we actually knew what we wanted to accomplish in the pilot, and then we measured to make sure we did that, and that's really important.
Absolutely. We've always said, if you put great technology on a bad process, you get a bad process that works faster. You guys really did it right. You went down and did the basics. Give us a little background on how you actually came up with some of those ideas and how you actually did some of the preliminary planning before we actually rolled in.
Yeah, well, one thing we know is that culture eats process for breakfast,
Absolutely.
Right? So we focused on the culture, and culture at Mission was such that, we had some pretty vocal complaints about the prior technology deployments that we had. And rather than shying away, which I think a lot of technology people do, like, we don't want to listen to the people who are complaining, we embrace that because those are the users who are engaged. They understand the problems with the current technology and they're looking for better solutions. So we sat down with them first and said, hey, we got an idea. We think that this device deployed is going to work a certain way, and this is how we see the future of it unfolding. But we want to start with a limited feature set first. And so we hit the broadest use case, right? Voice and secure text messaging. But we got those folks engaged as part of the solution process up front. And then we, of course, got the air cover from the executives and chief nursing officer and that kind of thing so that everybody knew what we were trying to do before we started.
Get those organizational, cultural type processes in place and then start to roll it out. I love it. Gain consensus. What's some of the feedback? What's starting to resound with the clinical nurse staff?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, if you want to make nursing staff happy,
yeah, I do.
Reduce the number of steps they have to take in a day. That's a quick way to make friends in the nursing area, and reduce the noise and the interruptions, right? So overhead paging, all the beeps and buzzes and things going on, far too much of that. So when we get the Ascom Myco 2 device deployed ubiquitously as a communications platform, our overhead paging was almost reduced to nothing on those pilot units. So, anybody who's interested in good HCAP scores coming back and how quiet things are on the clinical floor, this is an amazing way to accomplish that.
That's fantastic. And as far as some of the other features and things of that nature, what do you see future forward? What are some of the other plans you're thinking about for Mission Health going forward?
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got huge plans, a lot more plans than we probably have time or people to execute quickly. So it's all about prioritization now. But we're looking at things like integrating our bedside telemetry from GE and those alerts into these devices. Nurse call, of course, integration. And then some level of integration with our EHR as well. But even staff duress, the device is really cool. On the top of it, I'm going to teach you about your own device now.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
There's this special screen up here with the LED that changes colors, and this little button that can be staff duress. Well, instead of deploying a separate, specific solution with its own costs and maintenance contracts and education and maintenance, right? So I've got a staff duress button somewhere that needs a battery recharge or change and all that nonsense. Putting it in a single device is really critical. So that'll be something we activate at some point. It'll eliminate one of our older systems and put it all in the hands of a single device. Wonderful, and make that staff that much more secure and obviously raise that staff satisfaction as well. Absolutely, and then IT departments love to help, and that's why we try to deploy so much on every project. But one of the keys to success we've had at Mission was really limiting that feature set to some really critical functions first so that everybody's happy and the frame for this whole project is very positive. Then as we introduce new features onto the device, it's kind of like when you got your first iPhone in 2007, it just did like a couple of things, but it was so intuitive you didn't need instructions.
Right.
That's the Myco right now, right? I can text, I can call. But over time, if you look at your iPhone 10, the thing does everything, right? All these apps and app stores, but we can accommodate that into our learning because it happened gradually over time, and that's what we want to do with the Myco at Mission. We'll add those features over time.
And that's exactly how we look at this. The Ascom healthcare platform is actually built to be modular, so you can start to simplify, roll it out, get some traction, get some actually success, and then start to modularly add on some of those applications. And it's so wonderful to hear that you guys are implementing in exactly that manner and driving for success.
Absolutely, it works fantastic, and the time that we invest up front early in a project like this is going to pay off in spades as it gets to be more complex use cases. So.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Joseph, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
We'll see you soon.
All right.
Thank you.